my name is Gabby, and welcome to Poquillo. In today's episode, I'll be talking about 20 things I learned from Robin Waite about either starting or improving your business. I got this book on eBay for less than $5, so I would encourage you if after listening to my video, to go ahead and read this book. It takes like less than 2 hours to get through it. About me, my name is Gabby, and I have this little space on YouTube so that I can share my knowledge regarding business. Let's get started. So one of the things that really impressed me when I was reading this book is just that it's very concise and to the point, and it's basically a story between this guy named Robin. He's having problems with his golf business. Like, he teaches lessons to individuals, and they're not like paying him. He doesn't have a consistent client base, but along the way he meets this business coach named David, and he guides him on how to improve his business. And by the end of the book, he has a business that is pretty solid, and that also gives him the freedom that he was desiring. The first, when I was trying to write up my notes, one quote that I got from David is that he says that life is constantly in a state of stress. But if you just carry on doing the same old thing, nothing is ever going to change. And I just needed to write that down because it's so true. I think sometimes it's just so easy to make it a habit of just complain here and there about this and that, but if you don't do anything about it, nothing is going to change. So if you want to start a business but you're undecisive, just go for it. Like, there's so many ways where you don't even have to pay a penny. You can just start. And if you already have a business but something is not working right, instead of just again continue to complain, either find help through like books or through someone that can help you to fix that problem. And so the David, he starts giving like Robin these little exercises, and one of the things that he says that is that even before he started to like fix his business, one of the things that he needed to do is to write down on a piece of paper his goals for 1 year from now, 5 years from now, and then 10 years from now. And so he makes a point to say that no matter how crazy that idea looks, to go ahead and put it on paper, because if you want something, like, you'll find a way to make it a reality. And it also can help you just kind of see a pattern. So I did do that exercise myself. And one of my goals for 2025 is for me to have a business where I can sustain myself, and that I have the option to say, hey, I can quit my full-time job. Then my 5-year goal is to have a business where I can switch from offering services to offering more of a product. And one example I can say is that, let's say that I offer consulting to businesses. I have to be on demand. I have to be one-on-one with that client. But in theory, a product would look more like having a set of classes that I record with certain assignments that I give to people, which would turn more into a business coach type of thing. And then 10 years from now, one thing that I do want to do is write a book. Not sure about what would I write about, but I do know that I want to do that. So go ahead, and if you want, you can stop this video and you can attempt to do that yourself before you move forward to the other lessons I learned. Okay, well, another thing that I learned from this book is that you need to was not I didn't really learn, more like it was a good reminder, is that you need to find and write your why, your purpose, and how you're going to achieve that purpose. And so the example that he gives is that Russ, as you're reading the book, he's really focused on his family. Like everything revolves around his family. So that's his why. Now, in terms of his purpose is golf. And I'll read a little snippet from the book so you understand it. So it says here, your purpose is golf. And what I mean by that is that your talents, passion, expertise, and even your core values are all based on the game of golf. It's in your DNA. If you do that same exercise, you can find out what is your purpose. Like for me, my why, I would say that it is my family. My purpose is business. I can talk to anyone about business without getting bored. And then moving on to the how. How are you kind of like going to make a living out of that purpose? And so what he said for Ross is to get clients to turn up to every lesson and make sure that they pay for them. And that will be kind of the similar thing for me. Getting clients that are able to pay for me to help them in their business situation, for me to have the ability to get paid to share my knowledge, and through a mix of two models. One, a one-time thing where they pay me to just do them a one-time service, or more of a subscription model where they pay me to manage something for every month for a certain amount of time. Okay, then moving on to another thing after talking to this is about having a clear, defined goal. Because if you don't have a goal, you can be easily distracted and not be focused right on achieving something. So after doing the exercise with the why, the purpose, and the how, I came to write down my goal. And my goal is to have a business that earns about $7,000 a month, so that I can sustain myself, enjoying what I do, and while at the same time helping businesses with what I know. And this, I have it in my notebook that I see every single day, which I would encourage for you to do as well. And by having a goal, again, that's going to help you just cut through the noise and just achieve that quicker, rather if you just don't have anything that's keeping you, in one direction. And now this is transitioning more to the business itself, like when dealing with clients. So a goal must be explicit and measured over a given length of time. And so the thing that he says in the book, again, it's related to golf, is that if the client, has a lot of different issues, like different things that they want to improve, you need to focus on one thing and tell them hey, I'm gonna help you improve your swing over the course of 8 weeks. So you're giving them a goal, what you're going to improve and over what length of time. And then the other thing is that a good exercise for you to do is to ask clients why, or determine yourself why do they want to focus in that area and why they chose you, if there's many other options. And so again, using an example from the book, is that after analyzing the clients that Ross had, he seemed to notice this pattern where they wanted to enjoy the game better, and they wanted to get recognition for it as well. And so that's why they decided to take lessons. The why they chose him specifically is because he was able to inspire them to be the best golfer they could be, and he had a way of achieving that as well. So he inspired them and he was able to help them achieve that as well. This other point, it's kind of very common sense, but I feel like, yeah, it's really easy to forget it. And that is that you need to focus on what your clients want, not what you want, but what they want. And sometimes they may not know what they want. And so that's when the process of like having a good discovery call, a good conversation to just determine that is very critical. And then moving on more to like pricing, you have to charge according to your value. There's so many people that sometimes, undercharge their services, and it's very easy to do because maybe you don't have a comparison point, or you don't feel confident of charging more, you're scared, but you need to do it because you are hurting yourself. So in the book, this guy was charging like, I could be mistaking, but it was like maybe $50 an hour. And David encouraged him to change his model, where he ended up getting paid like $5.90 something or $8.90 something, I think, for 8 weeks. And then he took him to a conference where each person, let me see if I could find it. I think they paid like $10,000 per lesson, like for a day or so, or for a week. So basically, like, yeah, you have to do research. And even if like other people that do the same thing are charging like, I don't know, an average price, don't feel afraid to charge more than that. And the thing that in the book, it says one thing, like if you feel a little bit scared to do that, one thing that you can test is like set your mind on a price that feels a little bit uncomfortable. Then the next 10 people that come to you for your service, you can pitch them that new price and then see what they say. If you get, out of those 10 people, only one person complains, then you can know that that's a really good price. And you can stick with that. And yeah, I would definitely just really emphasize on this point, charge more. Because, yeah, it's just so easy to not charge what you deserve. Recently, like, my dad had to fix 2 windows on the car that he has, and I was trying to do research. I was trying to get, I think it's called Safe Light, to come repair it, but the car is, like, too old, and they don't manufacture that glass. And what I was going to pay was like, I think like 900 and something, because they charge for the glass plus the service, something like that. But then they ended up canceling the order, and my dad came across this guy that he was doing some work around our street, and when we asked him for a quote, he is going to charge us, he's coming this Saturday, he's going to charge us $300, including the material and his labor. And it's just so cheap. Like, if he had told me, hey, Gabby, like, I'm going to pay like $1,000, my price is $1,000, that would have been okay with me. So anyways, just an example. Okay. So next thing is coming down to contract to a contract. So you need to sign a contract with that person so that they know their responsibilities and your responsibilities. So in the game of golf, when he was teaching lessons, he was gonna teach them lessons like I don't know how often a week, once a week I think. And but on this, when they were not with him, they were expected to practice a certain amount of time. And the reason why you want to have this written and signed by both parties is because if you see, going back to the book example, if by the end of the 8 weeks there has been no improvement or the improvement they wanted to see, you have to reassess why. If they did everything that you told them to do, then you're gonna have to give them their money back, right? And you're not gonna feel guilty about it. And maybe you're gonna have to examine, what can you improve. But if they didn't do everything that you told them, you are not liable to give them the money back, right? Because they didn't complete, their part. Okay, going on, and this is more, I feel like it's dependent on your service, on your product, on what you offer. He recommends for you to have a 10 point assessment before beginning, that those services. And so you'll do it at the beginning and then at the end. So for like going back to golf, before taking those classes, just assessing how they're feeling, how they feel on their skills, and then at the end you will give them that same assessment again and just see how they feel now. Another thing that he mentions is that once you finish, delivering that result to them, that service, have a point to follow up with them. If that means, maybe a month after or 3 months after, just giving them a ring, asking them how are they doing, just to, one, make sure that, they're still happy, but two, so that if there are any, friction points, you have the opportunity to solve that before it, damages your reputation and you don't have an opportunity to fix that. Okay, and I think finally, this is, I guess, like a bonus point. If you are doing presentations in front of people, in front of an audience, remember to take 3 deep breaths, before going up there to speak, and remembering that you're not doing this for you, but for your audience, right? To inspire them, to teach them, to make them more knowledgeable. Lastly, if you do decide to get this book, Robin, in page 101, he has a list of books that you can read to help you, in your business journey. I'm gonna add this list to my current one that I already have. With that, thank you so much for joining me, and I'm looking forward to our next video. Bye.